The theme for today is value. What is value, and how are we meant to respond to it? So we're going to go 50-50 on the first reading and the gospel. And that's good because I'm sure a few people here are ready to start throwing tomatoes or rocks at me if I talk any more about Paul. So the second reading gets a pass for today. So the first reading is Proverbs. Great book. I love it. Now we heard that a worthy wife is beyond value. So guys, you heard it from me. You can't pretend you didn't hear it. If you heard the whole reading, you'll notice that a worthy wife is about goodness of spirit. She brings good, not evil. She knows how to work when necessary. She cares for the poor and the needy, and she loves God. Her value is not about charm or beauty. Those are bonuses. Beauty does not make a good spouse, and charm can deceive. Charm and beauty are appealing, but if they don't last, there really ought to be something else, something of lasting value. And by the way, ladies, please don't be offended by the book that was obviously written for a male audience. The lesson here applies equally to husbands. Attractiveness and charm do not make a good husband. Goodness of spirit is something every worthy husband possesses in some measure. So anyway, value is goodness that either sustains or builds up the people that we're meant to be. Money and luxury items are of some value. Those sorts of pleasures are not inherently evil. We're not communists after all. But elevating them beyond where they belong is an entirely different story. That's when addiction and sin take over, when we care more about our paycheck than our friends or neighbors. Real value is to always treasure that which adds to your true identity as an individual made in the image of God. So we can have rich lives with far less material wealth than we do right now. So let's say, for the sake of argument, the American economy totally collapses. We still have enough food to eat. No one's going to freeze in the winter. Our basic needs are still being met. But for the foreseeable future, we'd have to just deal with access to electricity and internet for 4 hours a day. And by the way, plenty of people in the world live exactly that way, so this is not completely out of the question. If that happened, it would suck for a little while. It would feel like we were going crazy out of boredom for a while, but we would deal with it. We would read more books, we'd have longer family dinners, and we'd play more board games and card games. We'd invite the neighbors over for volleyball games and campfires. Man, I would love that. The value of our lives is not inseparable from our technology or our wealth. Our value is in the quality of our lives, and a spiritually rich person can live a quality life with just about anything that the world provides them. So that's what value is. Anything that helps you be a good person. Therefore, faith, hope, and love are the three things of maximum value, to phrase it a tad clinically. And a good wife and a good husband are someone that build you up and make you more the person you've always meant to be. Onward to the gospel. What are we meant to do with value? When God gives you something of value, what then? The gospel is reasonably clear. You're supposed to do something with it. Okay? Do something, anything. Invest it, risk it, build something with it, whatever. Just don't leave it alone for fear of losing it. That is no way to live. A fair point from Jesus. Those talents in the story are the treasures that you have from God. Okay? Some people have way more than others. but everybody has something. And we're not meant to ignore them. We are meant to do something good with them. So again, speaking clinically, things of value are meant to be spent for the sake of even more value for others. Okay? Not more computers, not more Starbucks or Walmarts for everyone's shopping convenience. I mean more value as more opportunity for us to be the people we've always meant to be. So if you're good at something, how can you use it in order for someone else to grow as a person? Well, I think we'll go for two examples here for the sake of variety. First, the garden variety working dad, a guy with wife and kids who has an employable talent, building houses, bookkeeping, just washing dishes at a restaurant, anything. That person is taking his value and turning it into value for others. He is providing for his family, roof over his head, food on the table. That is righteous, make no mistake. Even if their employer couldn't care less about them, and even if they hate their job, there is still righteousness in the mix because that person is laboring for the well-being of others. I wouldn't say quite the same thing about a single man, no wife, no kids, in a job they hate where their boss couldn't care less about them. I would say that person has a lot less righteousness in their life because they're not using their talents for something lasting, working for absolutely no purpose other than your next paycheck. Well, that's not bad, but everyone deserves far more than that out of life. That's not living, that's surviving. That is being the last servant in the parable, and God expects more from us. All of us. All right, one more example as promised. Let's flip it. This time we'll go for a woman, unmarried, no kids. In fact, we'll go one step further, no job. She's on disability. So her basic needs are being met as long as she doesn't vacation in Europe or have steak and lobster for dinner. But this woman has a genuine and real talent. She is a fantastic gardener, and she knows how to teach good gardening. So 3 days a week, she lets the children of the neighborhood come over to her front yard, and she teaches those kids how to care for the life growing around them. She gives them raspberries, vegetables, and flowers to take home, but more importantly, she teaches the children how to respect life with patience and devotion and care. That woman's talent is real, and it increases the value in the lives of others. It doesn't make her a dime of real money. It doesn't sustain her life in any major way. But it gives her a way to contribute to other people's spiritual well-being. And that is a God-given talent indeed. You all have one of those, at least one of those. You all have a talent. You all have a way to contribute to the lives of others. Not all of them are going to make you money. Not many of them will earn you fame or adoration, but all of you have something to work with. Seize it, own it, build upon it. It is the value of your life, and it exists for the sake of bringing you closer to God through service to your neighbor as best as you're able.